behind the curtain.
Just basically saying, yeah, we did it, just keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah, 100%.
How mad would that be?
I'm loving it.
You photoshopping, blah, 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 blah. Suck him up, I was fucking... Yeah.
There's a page. Go check it out. He tells me a wild card. Hello, how are we doing? Welcome back to Myths and Mysteries with me, Ed, and my main man, Josh.
How are we doing?
Josh, how have we been?
Yeah,
man?
not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Fucking bit of a stressful week with obviously personal stuff, and it's going to be even more stressful this week. But hopefully, there's a good outcome.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. Fucking, I really do.
Yeah, but no, other than that, I've been all good, mate. How about you?
Same old, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been just coming to terms with a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Again, personal shite.
Yeah.
It just seems this year, if there is a God, he just looks at Myths and Mysteries.
It's
and
gone. Fuck them.
Yeah, I'm putting the biggest brick wall
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And we're going to
Yeah,
smash
so
through
fucking
it.
come on then.
Yeah, we're having it. We're having it all. But no, I hope everyone is well. And today we are talking some I am buzzing about.
Yeah.
I am fucking buzzing about. I'm pretty sure I've been like pleading with you for, like, ever since we started this podcast to cover it, because it is more of a your thing than me.
Yeah.
But it's got some of my things.
It has.
Yeah. Do you cover it?
Ish, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I'd leave that bit to you, like to go more in depth on.
Oh yeah.
But I will mention something to do with that. Yes.
Yeah, boy. So it's a bit, in a way, it's a bit of a both.
Yeah.
But you're taking the lead on it, of course. And if you don't know what we're talking about Dyatlov Pass, or the Dyatlov Pass incident.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mad shit happened, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Bit mad.
But no, I hope everyone gets all relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to our dulcet tones,
Mm-hmm.
because you know we have got lovely voices. I have to admit though, you've got more of a voice for like podcasts and radio than I have.
You're saying I'm clapped.
No,
I mean, he's not wrong, but anyway.
no, I said the voice. If I
Yeah.
said you've got a face for radio,
Oh, yeah,
then I'm
true.
saying,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I'm
yeah, that's
saying
the
you're
point, that's the
clapped.
point.
I've got a face for radio.
I know you have, mate.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're married, bro.
Oh, well, yeah. Should we kiss?
Yeah, fuck it.
But yeah, I hope you're doing what you're doing. Relax. Just doing shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. You got some sort of potato item in your belly button.
Someone's just sitting there like, oh yeah, fuck, I've got a curly fry.
Yeah, it'd be bad if someone pulled out a fucking jacket potato. Oh, I wonder where that got. Okay. Oh, it's still warm. Oh dear. How did
I don't know.
no, fuck it. Oh, I don't know. But no, hope you're all well hydrated and full. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Josh, just start talking about it before I make us look fucking like idiots.
Right. So, the Dyatlov Pass incident was an event in which 9 Soviet ski hikers died in the northern Ural Mountains on the 1st or 2nd of February 1959 under undetermined circumstances. The experienced trekking group from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, led by Igor Dyatlov, had established a camp on eastern slopes of Siakul. I don't know. A lot of these are going to be Russian words, so I apologise if I butcher them. But the Siakul, I'll just say, in the Russian SFSR of the Soviet Union. Overnight, something caused them to cut their way out of their tent and flee the campsite while inadequately dressed for the heavy snowfall and sub-zero temperatures. After the group's bodies were discovered, an investigation by Soviet authorities determined that 6 of them had died from hypothermia, while the other 3 had been killed by physical trauma. 1 victim had major skull damage, 2 had severe chest trauma, and another had a small crack in his skull. 4 of the bodies were found lying in running water in a creek, and 3 of those 4 had damaged soft tissue of the head and face. 2 of the bodies had missing eyes, 1 of them had a missing tongue, and one had missing eyebrows. The investigation concluded that a compelling natural force had caused the deaths. Numerous theories had been put forward to account for unexplained deaths, including animal attacks, hypothermia, an avalanche, katabatic winds, infrared sound, induced panic, military involvement, or some combination of these factors. So in 1959, a group was formed for a skiing expedition across the northern Urals in Sverdlovsk Oblast, Soviet Union. According to Professor Tempelov, documents found in the tents of the expedition suggest that the expedition was named for the 21st Congress of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, and possibly was dispatched by the local Komsomol organization. Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old radio engineer student at the Ural Polytechnical Institute, the leader, assembled a group of 9 others for the trip, most of whom were fellow students and peers at the university. The initial group consisted of 8 men and 2 women, but one member later returned because of health issues. Each member of the group was an experienced Grade 2 hiker with ski tour experience and would receive Grade 3 certification upon their return. At the time, Grade 3 was the highest certification available in the Soviet Union and required candidates to travel 300 kilometers. The route was designed by Dyatlov's group to reach the far northern regions of the Sverdlovsk Oblast and the upper streams of the Lozva River. On January 23rd, 1959, the Dyatlov group was issued their route book, which listed their course following the number 5 trail. At the time, Sverdlovsk's City Community Centre of Physical Culture and Sport listed approval for 11 people. The 11th person listed was Semyon Zolotaryov, who had been certified to go with another expedition of similar difficulty on the same day that they received the route book. On January 27th, they began their trek towards the Gora Ortiton. On January 28th, one member, Yuri Yudin, who had several health ailments, including rheumatism and congenital heart defect, turned back because of knee and joint pain that made him unable to continue the hike. The remaining 9 hikers continued the trek. Diaries and cameras found around their last campsite made it possible to track the group's route up to the day preceding the incident. On January 31st, the group arrived at the edge of the highland area and began to prepare for climbing. In a wooded valley, they cached surplus food and equipment that would be used for the trip. The next day, the hikers started to move through the pass. It seems they planned to go over the pass and make a camp for the next night on the opposite side. But because of worsening weather conditions, snowstorms and decreasing visibility, they lost their direction and deviated west. Toward the top of the Kholat Shaikal, when they realised their mistake, the group decided to set up camp on the slope of the mountain, rather than move 1.5 kilometres downhill to a forested area where that would have offered some shelter from the weather. Yudin speculated that Dyatlov probably did not want to lose altitude that they had gained, or he decided to practice camping on the mountain slope.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I know what I would rather choose.
Yeah, too right. Before leaving, Dyatlov had agreed he would send a telegram to their sports club as soon as the group returned to Vizhai. It was expected that this would happen no later than February 12th, but Dyatlov had told Yudin that before he departed from the group, he expected it to be longer. When the 12th passed and no messages were received, there was no immediate reaction. Delays of a few days were common with such expeditions. Well, on February 20th, the travellers' relatives demanded a rescue operation, and that the head of the institute sent the first rescue groups, consisting of volunteers, students and teachers. Later, the army and the police forces became involved, with planes and helicopters ordered to join the operation. On February 26th, the searchers found the group's abandoned and badly damaged tent on the Kholat Shaikal. The campsite baffled the search party. Nikolai Sharavin, the The student who found the tent said the tent was half torn down and covered with snow. It was empty, and all the group's belongings and shoes had been left behind. Investigators said that the tent had been cut open from the inside. 9 sets of footprints left by people wearing only socks or a single shoe or even barefoot could be followed, leading down the edge of a nearby woods on the opposite side of the pass.
Cool, you'd have cold toes, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's frostbite galore.
Yeah. But I remember that bit as well, like the whole... they left everything behind. Because then it seemed like whatever happened...
They left in a panic.
They left in a panic, left in a hurry, and then... But instead of just, like, opening the zip...
Yeah.
Or like, whatever, because I mean... This was in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
Like, however the tents were together then, they actually had to cut
the way out. So something was
This,
kicking off big time. That it's like they didn't even have time. It's literally just get out now.
As the old wise words say, there's fuckery afoot.
Yeah. Well, after 500 metres, these tracks were covered in with snow at the forest edge under a large Siberian pine. The searchers found the visible remains of a small fire. There were the first 2 bodies, those of Jesus Christ, Krivyanshenko and Doroshenko, shoeless and dressless, only in underwear. Dressed only in underwear. The branches on the tree were broken up to 5 metres high, suggesting that one of the hikers had climbed up to look for something, perhaps the camp. Between the pine and the camp, the searchers found 3 more corpses.
Well, that don't make sense, because if they climbed the tree to find the camp, but at the camp, because how many people was there? It was 9 people. So when they found the tent, they found 9 sets of footprints leaving the tent.
Yeah.
And they've cut it out. Why would they? I mean, yeah, you'd always want to look back because we're like, fuck off, my feet are cold, I need my shoes.
Yeah.
But as well, like, you ain't gonna be if it's something bad, you ain't gonna be looking back.
No.
Oh, if you had to leave in that situation.
Yeah. But mind you, saying that this was...
I wonder where the tent is.
Yeah, but mind you, this was 500 metres away, so if, for argument's sake, something was kicking off, they might feel that they're safe then. Yeah. So it's like a good idea to look back, see if anything's there. But I mean, like, in
them mountainsides, like, you think of, like avalanches, say, or something like that. If it was said an avalanche, where, you've got to think quick, get out.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't going to look back. Or unless you're like, I wonder if the tent made it.
Yeah.
Would we have been okay? Yeah, I'll get that. But as well, like, you just want to
get away.
Try and keep
going. Yeah,
but,
I know where you're coming from.
But they've... A lot of the time, I mean, I've never done, like, camping, like, in mountainsides with snow and shit like that. I've done most things, but not that.
No.
But if I was them, I'd keep my shoes on.
Yeah, like all the time.
Because if it is like, I don't know the area, but if it's like a high avalanche risk or something like that, and you're gonna need to get away quick, you'd want to be prepared.
Oh, funny enough, I've just read the next bit of this sort of. Yeah, so the searchers found 3 more corpses: Dyatlov, Kolmogorova, and Slobodin, who died in poses suggesting that they were attempting to return to the tent.
Oh, okay.
So that again, that might make sense why he climbed the tree. Is like, it's over there, sort of thing.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, okay, all right. So I've just spoke a load of bollocks.
I mean, you was onto something until we found out they were heading back.
They were heading back. So then that makes me think that ain't quite an avalanche, then, because it seems like something. I mean, I'm always going to think like this, but it seems like something's chased them out.
Yeah.
And they think they've lost it, and they want to find their way back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're trying to give it the runaround.
Yeah. Well, they were found at distances of 300, 480 and 630 metres from the tree. Finding the remaining 4 travellers took more than 2 months. They finally were found on May 4th under 4 metres of snow in a ravine 75 metres further into the woods from the pine tree. 3 of the 4 were better dressed than the others, and there were signs that some clothing of those who had died first had been removed for use by the others.
Yeah.
Dublina was wearing Krivashenko's burnt, torn trousers, and her left foot and left shin were wrapped in a torn jacket.
Right,
so they were probably injured then.
Did
Unless,
they, like, fall into a fire?
well, I don't know, but they might have. I mean, yeah, burn bit I don't get, but the
Yeah.
rip side I kind of get. If the foot's injured or whatever,
Yeah.
put it like in a splint sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
A legal inquest started immediately after the first 5 bodies were found. A medical examination found no injuries that might have led to their deaths, and it was concluded that they had all died of hypothermia. Slobodin had a small crack in his skull, but it was not thought to be that of the fatal wound. An examination of the 4 bodies found in May shifted the narrative of the incident. 3 of the hikers had fatal injuries. Thibaut Brignolis had a major skull damage, and Dublina and Zolotaryov had major chest fractures. According to Boris... Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, Russia, please just change your names to Smith, it's so much easier. According to Boris Vorozdeny, the force required to cause such damage would have been extremely high, comparable to that of a car crash. Notably, the bodies had no external wounds associated with the bone fractures, as if they had been subjugated to high levels of pressure. All 4 bodies found at the bottom of the creek in a running stream of water had soft tissue damage to the head and face. For example, Dublina was missing her tongue, eyes, part of her lips, as well as facial tissue and fracture of a skull bone. While Zolotaryov had his eyeballs missing, and Alexander Kolevatov had his eyebrows missing.
Eyebrows?
Yeah.
Eyebrows?
Yeah.
So?
Yeah.
Ew.
Had his eyebrows.
That's weird.
This is what I mean. It don't make sense.
Very strange.
V.A. Vorozdeny, the forensic expert performing the post-mortem examination, judged that these injuries happened post-mortem because of the location of the bodies in the stream. Initial speculation suggested that the indigenous Mansi people, who were reindeer herders in the area, had attacked and killed the group for encroaching upon their lands. Several Mansi were interrogated, but the investigation indicated that the nature of these deaths did not support the hypotheses. Only the hikers' footprints were visible, and they showed no sign of hand-to-hand struggle. Although the temperature was low, about minus 25 to minus 30 degrees Celsius, with a storm blowing, the dead were only partially dressed. Some only had 1 shoe, while others only wore 1 sock. Journalists reporting on the available parts of the inquest files claims that it states 6 of the group members died of hypothermia and 3 of fatal injuries. There were no indications of other people nearby, apart from the 9 travellers. The tent had been ripped open from within. The victims had died 6 to 8 hours after their last meal. Traces from the camp showed that all group members left the campsite of their own accord on foot. Some levels of radiation were found on one of the victims' clothing. To dispel the theory of an attack by the indigenous Mansi people, Vorozdeny stated that the fatal body injuries of the 3 bodies could not have been caused by human beings because of the force of the blows had been too strong and no soft tissue had been damaged.
Could it be because there was a storm?
Mm-hmm.
Snows are falling.
Yeah.
Like because they were in the forest.
Yeah.
A big lump of snow fell off one of the trees.
Yeah, it could have been. Very well could have been. Because that can kill people easily.
Yeah, it has happened.
Released documents contain no information about the condition of the hikers' internal organs. Excuse me. At the time, the official conclusion was that the group members had died because of a compelling natural force. The inquest officially ceased in May 1959 as a result of the absence of a guilty party. The files were sent to a secret archive. In 1997, it was revealed that the negatives from Krivoshenko's camera were kept in the private archive of one of the investigators. The film material was donated by Ivanov's daughter to the Dyatlov Foundation. The diaries of the hiking party fell into Russia's public domain in 2009. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the investigation into the incident, although only 3 possible explanations were being considered: an avalanche, a slab avalanche, or a hurricane. Which a slab avalanche is basically what you were saying, wasn't it? Big chunk of snow.
Yeah, just
You see it like on like videos and that where they fall off roofs and that.
yeah,
and it
yeah.
cave people's heads in.
It's very likely. A hurricane, I think, that's a bit mad because you'd have thought. Well, then again, Russia's a big place.
Yeah.
That could easily pass through somewhere, and no one would know.
Yeah. But yeah, so they were the three things. The possibility of a murder had been discontinued. Yuri Kuntsevich, who was 12 years old at the time and who later became the head of the Yekaterinburg-based Dyatlov Foundation, attended 5 of the hikers' funerals. He recalled that their skins had a deep brown tan. Another group of hikers, about 50 kilometers south of the incident, reported that they saw strange orange spheres in the sky to the north on the night of the incident. Similar spheres were observed by Ivdal and adjacent areas continually during that period from the February to the March 1959 by various independent witnesses, including the meteorologist service and the military. Right. These sightings were noted in 1959 investigation, and the various witnesses came forward years later.
We're getting on the aliens.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's a lot of mad shit covering this thing. So, Anatoly Gushchin summarized his research in the book The Price of State Secrets in 9 Lives. Some researchers criticized the work for its concentration on the speculative theory of a Soviet secret weapon experiment. But its publication led to public discussion stimulated by interest in the paranormal. Indeed, many of those who had remained silent for 30 years reported new facts about the accident. One of them was the former police officer Lev Nikitich Ivanov, who led the official inquest in 1959. In 1990, he published an article that included his admission that the investigation team had no rational explanation for the incident. He also stated that after his team reported that they had seen flying spheres, he then received direct orders from high-ranking regional officials to dismiss this claim.
Right, so he said
something mad was going on in the Russians. But
no, it won't.
Yeah, just went, shut your mouth.
Yeah. No,
so, again, either they know something like paranormal-wise, or they're experimenting and wanted to keep it hush-hush.
Yeah.
And again,
it is Soviets.
Yeah, and again, with one of them having radiation on them, how the hell else would radiation get up top of a mountain? It don't just appear.
No, that's it. I mean, that makes more sense.
And again,
as mad as it sounds.
No, but again, Russia, around this region, Russia and radiation, they just seem to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I mean, when was Chernobyl? That was
in early 90s, wasn't it? Or late 80s, I believe.
Let's have a look. Chernobyl happened in 1986. So it was a fair while after.
Yeah. But I mean, ever since, after Oppenheimer, everyone wanted
nuclear shit. Yeah. I mean, that's when an incident happened. They could have been using nuclear stuff decades beforehand. It just never kicked off.
No, exactly.
Right, so here's now getting to some of the possible explanations of what happened with this stuff. So on July 11th, 2020, Andrei Kuryakov, deputy head of the Urals Federal District and the director of the Prosecutor General's office, announced an avalanche as the official cause of death for the Dyatlov group in 1959. Later, independent computer simulation and analysis by Swiss researchers also suggest avalanche as the cause. Summarizing Kuryakov's report in the New Yorker, Douglas Preston writes, the most appealing aspect of Kuryakov's scenario is that the Dyatlov party actions no longer seem irrational. No. The snow slab, according to Green, probably would have made loud cracks and rumbles as it fell across the tent, making an avalanche seem imminent. Kuryakov noted that although the skiers made an error in placement of the tent, everything they did subsequently was textbook. They conducted an emergency evacuation to ground that would have been safe from the avalanche. They took shelter in the woods. They started a fire. They dug a snow cave. And had they been less experienced, they might have remained near the tent, dug it out, and survived. But avalanches are by far the biggest risk in mountains in winter.
Of course.
The more experience you have, the more you fear them. The skiers' expertise pretty much doomed them.
Yeah. I know you're going to get onto it, but it's the eyeballs, the eyebrows.
Yeah. The only thing I can
tongue,
think of,
tongue.
The only thing I can think of with that is maybe because they were found in a creek, has fish come and nibbled it away, or is they've, I don't know what is it erosion that happens in water?
Well, yeah, but fuck me. Well, yeah, I suppose.
And it was a few months after they were found, so could it, if the body's decaying and in water, could it just brush it away?
The eyeballs, maybe, not the tongue.
Yeah.
Tongue, because
because the tongue goes fair well back down your throat. It's not just that little bit in your mouth, is it?
No, and as well, like that has to be cut out.
Yeah. Yeah, the only other thing I can think of is like
when people die, like you go through rigor mortis.
Yeah,
and if your mouth's closed, it's gonna be welded
shut. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is maybe them just fish have got like with the eyes and things like that. Maybe fish or like decomposition in the creek, just water rushes just took them.
I get that, but then
it's the tongue one that's
and as well what you're saying with the erosion, like that do it for the whole skin, surely.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd have like no face left. Yeah, it is weird. Reviewing a sensationalist Yeti hypotheses, American skeptic author Benjamin Radford suggests an avalanche as more plausible.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
The group woke up in a panic and cut their way out of the tent, either because of an avalanche had converted the entrance to their tent, or because they were scared that an avalanche was imminent. Better to have a potentially repairable slit in the tent than risk being buried alive under tons of snow. They were poorly clothed because they had been sleeping and ran to the safety of the nearby woods, where trees could help slow the oncoming snow. In darkness of night, they got separated into 2 or 3 groups.
Yeah.
One group had made a fire, hence the burned hands, and that might as well explain the burned clothes.
Yeah.
Because you like feeding the fire, ain't you?
Well, yeah, and as well, you're so cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, your hands are numb. You don't get actually how close you are to the fire.
Yeah.
Like, even though your hands might feel
because they're that numb, you're not going to feel it.
No, and then that's where, like with when you hypothermia.
Yeah.
From being really cold to really hot can actually make it worse.
Yeah, you're meant to do it slowly over time, ain't you?
Yeah.
Because your body goes into shock because it's gone from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, and as well, like the whole thing is like when you're in like fall into the sea, you're cold, and they say, "Oh, strip them off." Don't.
Yeah.
Don't strip them off. You just add more.
Yeah, because their body gets.
Yeah, because when you add more clothes, it's wet, but your body temperature will naturally heat
yourself up. Yeah, because that's what goosebumps are, aren't they? When you're cold, it's actually your skin trying to keep the warmth in, isn't it? Where was I? Yeah, hence the burnt hands. While the others tried to return to the tent to recover their clothing, given that the danger had passed, but it was too cold and they all froze to death before they could find their tent in darkness.
That makes sense.
At some point, some of the clothes might have been recovered or swapped from the dead. But at any rate, the group of 4 whose bodies were the most severely damaged were caught in an avalanche and buried under 4 meters of snow.
Yeah, in a ravine, yeah.
Yeah, more than enough to account for the compelling natural force.
Yeah.
The medical examiner described the Blinner's ton probably was removed by scavengers or and ordinary predation, whatever that means.
Like meat eaters.
Right, yeah.
Bears, wolves.
Oh, right, yeah. But why, again, if it was a bear or a wolf, why would they just eat the tongue? Surely they'd eat the whole body.
Well, yeah, but a lot of like some of the predators, like wolves and that, they go for specific things.
Right.
Like a lot of them go for specific things.
But again, in a pack, surely only one of them's going to eat the tongue.
Well, then that makes it more of a bear.
It would have more of a damaged look because it'd been ripped out, wouldn't it? Yeah. Wouldn't have been like carefully removed. They would have literally just had a big bite out of it. Yeah, exactly. They would have literally just got hold of it and pulled that fucker right out.
Yeah, and like you say, they did say like lips, everything was gone.
Yeah,
and stuff. But yeah, it'd have made a mess.
Yeah. But I don't know if you want to mention the Yeti.
No. Is that it for the Yeti?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck. Well, because in Russia there is a type of apparently there is a type of Yeti,
right,
or Bigfoot-like creature, which is called the Almas.
Mm-hmm.
And people who know about like Bigfoots and stuff like that, the Almases, they're mainly made out to be in Mongolia or Western Central Asia.
Right.
But when you think Russia is just above, Asia,
well, it counts as both, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like in the Caucasus Mountains, and stuff like that. So it moves. Because Almas is a Mongolian word for wild man.
Right.
The plural Almasty is derived from Russian, while other variations of the name Almasty, Almasa, Bunana, and Ochakochi, which translates as the name of a forest deity in West Asian regions such as Azerbaijan and Georgia.
Yeah.
Current accounts of the most recent sightings of the Almas locate it near the southern part of Mongolia, along the Altai Mountains and Tian Shan Pass near the northern border of China.
Right.
But let's have a look, see where it is in Russia. Accounts from Russian historian Professor Boris Porchev in 1964 explained that the Almas appeared to have a cone-shaped skull and the teeth structures was similar to humans, except that the canines were wider. Porchev was even reported to have encountered the descendants of the Almasty, which were grouped in families that dwelled in holes in the ground. Porchev further describes the human-like beings as having excellent swimming and running abilities, a foul odour, and a diet that consists of small mammals, vegetables, and fruits.
Mm-hmm.
The Almasty, as nomadic creatures, have travelled beyond the areas of Mongolia, in which they were frequently sighted by farmers and villagers. One of the most recent expeditions that aimed to locate the Almas was led by Russian cryptozoologist Dr. Marie G. Kaufmann and Frenchman Sylvain Palix in 1992. Similar to findings of Porchev, the data gathered by Kaufmann describes the Almasty as large, hairy creatures weighing as much as 500 pounds, and they are nocturnal creatures that can run as fast as 40 miles per hour.
Fucking hell.
However, the only solid evidence Kaufmann was able to collect was hair samples, footprints, and droppings. But yeah, they have been seen in Kazakhstan, Siberia, all throughout Asia, and Russia. So that is because they call it the Russian Yeti, but as soon as you try to search Russian Yeti, the first thing that comes up is the Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah,
and with because there's that black and white photo. Have you seen it?
No, I don't think I have.
Hang on, I'll show you. Come on, don't be a cunt. Right.
Oh.
Apparently, this is the photo. And yeah, apparently because you said they had photos.
Yeah.
That was one of the photos. Where
Oh,
they were
right.
walking and they saw that.
Ah. So.
Because then let's look at it. Right, they cut out of the way of their tent.
Yeah.
And they scarpered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it is probably due to an
avalanche.
or something natural.
Yeah.
But look at it as a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Something is making a fucking racket at their tent, and it's like going at it one way.
Yeah, you're going to cut out the other way.
They cut out the other way. They
bolt it.
Yeah, they bolt it. Because you think these are highly, highly experienced. Well, not highly, but they're experienced hikers. The mountain ranges and that is their playground. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
If you think, even though an avalanche is when an avalanche is imminent, it's get gone.
Yeah.
But you think they'd still have time to put their shoes on.
Yeah. But again, it makes sense as well, like you said, to sleep with them on.
Yeah, because you're in the you're in winter.
It's that added warmth, isn't it?
Yes, added warmth, and like you say, it's winter where it's snowing a fucking gale.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to be prepared.
Yeah.
To
in
make,
case
to
worst
make,
case scenario.
Yeah, to make that escape, and you think they'd know that.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they just didn't feel like they needed to.
Yeah.
So they slept normally. Something's attacked their tent. They cut their way out,
Mm-hmm.
and they run like fuck. An owl mass is reported to weigh as much as 500 pounds.
Yeah.
That is
huge. I think that's what polar bears weigh.
Yeah.
And look at the size of a polar bear.
If that got hold of you and pulled you, that'd crush you.
Crush you.
So could that like 3 of them weren't fast enough?
Yeah.
And that got hold of them?
Maybe. And had fueled the fire. It said they're nocturnal as well. This all happened at night.
Yeah. Was it able then to cut out their tongue? Because they seem to be more human than Bigfoot.
Yeah.
In a sense. So if that's the case, could they use primitive tools?
Maybe.
Could they use a bit of flint or something as a knife?
Maybe.
To cut out a tongue?
Yeah.
To gouge out eyeballs?
Maybe. But again,
cut off eyebrows.
With the eyebrow ones are mad, but with the eyes missing, like you said, with the pressure,
pop.
Exactly.
We've seen it in films.
Yeah, but if they got the pressure to do it,
yeah. If that gets hold of you and that fucking gives you a bear hug,
your eyes could easily go.
Yeah, that's gonna make it explode.
I'm not being funny. There's a reason you close your eyes when you sneeze, because apparently that can happen.
Yeah,
the force can literally sneeze.
Yeah.
So if this geezer gets hold of you,
yeah, exactly. And like it can run 40 miles an hour.
Yeah,
reportedly. Don't know about that. But
yeah.
If that's gonna catch up with anyone.
Yeah. So it could be.
It's got it. Like say it could tear your clothes.
Yeah.
You know, they could have been trying to use a stick with fire to fend it off, which caused them their burnt hands.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a chance. You never know.
No.
Only they know.
Yeah, exactly. Let us say, I do personally believe the highest chance is an avalanche.
Yeah.
An avalanche or a slab avalanche.
Or something like that, yeah.
Because that does...
Yeah. But
it's the most plausible.
Going on that, here are some arguments against that. Again, not the fear of an avalanche, but an actual avalanche. Right. So the first one, the location of the incident did not have any obvious signs of an avalanche having occurred. An avalanche would have left certain patterns and debris distributed over a wide area.
Yeah.
The bodies found within a month of the event were covered with a shallow layer of snow. Yeah. And had there been an avalanche of sufficient strength to sweep away the second party,
they'd have been
these bodies would have been swept away as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because they pretty much died, collapsed where
they
were.
Exactly. This would have caused more serious and different injuries in the process and would have damaged the tree line.
Yeah, they'd have been bent up and all sorts, wouldn't they?
More than 100 expeditions to the region have been held since the incident, and none have ever reported conditions that might create an avalanche. A study of the area using up-to-date terrain-related physics revealed that the location was entirely unlikely for such an avalanche. The dangerous conditions found in another nearby area, which had significantly steeper slopes and cornices, were observed in April and May, when the snowfalls of winter were melting. During February, when the incident occurred, there were no such conditions.
Right.
Analysis of the terrain and the slope showed that even if there could have been a very specific avalanche in the area, its path would have gone past the tent. The tent had collapsed from the sides, but not in a horizontal direction.
Oh, okay.
Dyatlov was an experienced skier, and the much older Zolotaryov was studying for his master's certificate in ski instruction and mountain hiking. Neither of these two men would have been likely to camp anywhere near a path of a potential avalanche.
Exactly.
Footprint patterns leading away from the tent were inconsistent with someone, let alone a group of 9 people running in panic from either real or imagined danger. All of the footprints leading away from the tent and towards the woods were consistent with individuals walking at a normal pace.
Yeah.
So, again, like you said, possible, it is most likely, but there are things that don't add up.
Out of all the explanations so far, so we've got avalanche, we've got aliens or UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Russian Yeti.
Yeah.
They're the main ones.
Yeah.
So far. Right. So, like you said, they were consistent walking. So they weren't in a rush.
Yeah.
So that can't... But then that... Why cut out?
Yeah. Exactly.
Why cut out? They cut themselves out from the inside out.
Yeah.
If it was... Even if it was a Yeti chasing you, you're going to be scarpering.
Yeah.
But they were consistent.
They're just casually walking away. Almost if someone's told them to fuck off.
Yeah. But then again, going on back with the Yeti, they cut them... That is still a mystery, the cutting out. But we'll past that. They probably... Will bow.
The only thing I can... Sorry to cut you off.
No, go on.
The only thing I can think of maybe them having to cut out... Again, not the panic side, but just to actually cut out the tent. Maybe, like, because it was that cold, the zip froze or something?
Yeah, but did they have zips in the 50s?
Yeah. I mean,
That's
actually
what I mean.
have a look what they look like.
Because sometimes they've done, like, with belt, like a belt buckle.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I'm not saying they...
1950s tent.
Russian tent. Got the Russian.
Is that it? It's more like a bloody tiki hut, like pyramid Soviet style tent. Yeah, there you go. Look, buckles.
Yeah,
but they're on the.
hook.
Why would they be on the outside?
Because you can still get your hand between.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so it's like the loop and the T piece. You know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like that might be able to freeze. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're probably because picture this, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
You're laying in that tent.
Yeah.
You know, you having your 40 winks.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a howl, but not a wolf howl, but you hear like a whoop.
Yeah.
Say, you know. You're curious, like, what the fuck made that?
Yeah.
Trying to get out the tent, and shit, we ain't gonna get out fast enough.
Yeah. Just cut it open.
Just cut it
Get
open.
the fuck out.
I want to see this.
Yeah.
And they're all walking because you know they don't want to run and scare whatever. They're curious. Kind of look when they catch up to whatever made this howl or whoop.
Mm-hmm.
It freaked it. That it got eyes on him.
Yeah.
It's predatory. That's it. You're
gonna run here, there, and everywhere.
You're gonna run into the woods to try to lose it. You think you've lost it? Let's make a fire. Thing comes back. Try and use the fire to scare it off.
That's what I was going to get at. If it's some kind of predatory animal, you see it like in the Amazon and that, they make fires to warn the predators off.
Yeah, you make that fire. You're holding it. You're burning your hands.
Yeah.
But you're so scared of whatever this fucking thing is in front of you, you're trying to push it away. But then with that, as it's came in, you've burnt your clothes.
Yeah.
It's tore at your clothes. You know,
try to grab you or whatever as you're running and
then you're trying to run away, try and go back to the tent.
Yeah,
you then end up freezing.
Yeah, this is what I mean. There's so many.
But apart from the 3 that got caught, it got its fill. Its favourite food is eyeballs and tongues. Because
so
obviously,
it's like some Hannibal Lecter shit.
Yeah, because obviously the owl mouse is French.
Yeah,
because that's something they'd fucking eat. So it's had its fill and it's fucked off.
Yeah,
but one thing that goes against it, no other footprints.
For no other footprints. But to play devil's advocate, were they looking for human footprints? And well, mind you, you'd still notice a fucking footprint like that.
If it's big, like a Bigfoot, they've just got big, like they look
big
like
feet.
Giant human feet.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Because then go on to the aliens. Mm-hmm. Kind of like the same scenario. You're in your tent, and there might be there's a little gap.
Yeah.
In your tent. You see these orange lights keep coming past.
Yeah.
Again, you cut yourself out. You think, cool, it's gone this way. Let's walk towards it. Mm-hmm. You know, nice and easy. And then you see like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Run.
And
that would also explain the radiation side of it.
The radiation side of it. Why there's no footprints.
Yeah.
We don't know how big the craft was.
No.
Or crafts are. That could be the size of
Yeah. Well, it must be fairly sized for fucking Russian military to spot it.
Well, yeah, but then again, like, telescopes and shit like that.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so and that's why they scarpered, get to wherever. Because as well, going off that, it's different, but it's the same. With Skinwalker Ranch, with the cattle mutilations, like a lot of the cows were like sliced open, but they were like it was sliced, like, expertly, but they were like burnt,
right? Like almost like a laser sort of
burnt clothes. You've gone like that when you see this bright light. It's burnt your hands.
Burnt your hands.
That cut your tongue out
Easily, yeah.
I mean, that does sound very fucking
far-fetched,
War of the Worlds,
yeah,
fucking weird shit. But
this whole thing is weird.
That's the beauty of it. You can't really write anything off.
No, exactly, because there's so many things that lead to so many different things.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the most plausible thing is an avalanche.
But with all them explanations,
yeah, because actually,
could it have been an avalanche?
Deep it a bit. Like if there was an avalanche, and that would wipe it all out.
Like they
and
said,
everything would be covered.
Yeah, like they said, it don't excuse the panic of an avalanche, which is, again, it makes sense with the quick, let's get the fuck out. But if you're panicking that an avalanche can happen, why are you casually walking? You'd fucking bolt it.
But then again,
the only thing I can think of is, was they too cold to run?
That, and also, like you say, they're experienced. Yeah, they're scared, but at the same time, they're still thinking.
They're thinking
straight.
logically, like, right.
If we just run in all directions.
Yeah. But again, what that said, these are two high experienced hikers and mountaineers. Why would they camp there if there was the risk of an avalanche?
Yeah, exactly. You, like you say, you'd go into the woods.
The woods. Oh, so mad. Where was I? Yeah. A review of the 1959 investigation's evidence, completed in 2015 to 2019 by experienced investigators from the Investigative Committee of the Russian Federation, or the ICRF, on request of the families, confirmed that an avalanche with several important details added. First of all, the ICRF investigators, one of them an experienced alpinist, however you say it, confirmed that the weather on the night of the tragedy was harsh, with wind speeds up to hurricane force, 20 to 30 meters per second. A snowstorm and temperatures reaching minus 40 degrees. These factors were not considered by the 1959 investigators, who arrived at the scene of the accident 3 weeks later, when the weather had much improved and any remains of snowslide had settled and been covered with fresh snowfall. The harsh weather at the same time played a critical role in the events of the tragic night, which have been reconstructed as followed. In 2019, a Swedish-Russian expedition was made to the site, and investigators ultimately proposed that a violent katabatic wind was a plausible explanation for the incident. Katabatic winds are somewhat rare events and can be extremely violent.
That would explain why they won't camp in the woods.
Yeah,
because there's high winds. Think of widowmakers.
Yeah.
So you're gonna stay away from trees.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do get that.
They were implicated in a 1978 case at the Anares Mountain in Sweden, where 8 hikers were killed and 1 was severely injured. The topography of these locations was noted to be similar, according to the expedition. A sudden katabatic wind would have made it impossible to remain in the tent, and the most rational course of action would have been for the hikers to cover the tent with snow and seek shelter behind the tree line. On top of the tent, a flashlight was also left turned on, maybe intentionally, so the hikers could find their way back to the tent once the winds had subsided.
Yeah, so hence why they make you climbed up, so they could see
the flashlight. The expeditions proposed that the group of hikers constructed of 2 bivouac shelters. Constructed of 2 bivouac shelters, one of which collapsed, leaving 4 of the hikers buried with severe injuries observed. Let me just have a quick look what a bivouac tent looks like. A bivouac shelter. Bivouac shelter. Yeah, it's one of them sort of like by standard sort of.
Yeah.
Just like a big canopy with a pole in the middle to hold it up, sort of thing.
Yeah, like a teepee.
Yeah. One speculation: the campsite fell within the path of Soviet parachute in the path of a Soviet parachute mine exercise. This theory alleges that the hikers, woken by loud explosions, fled the tent in a shoeless panic and found themselves unable to return to supply retrieval. After some members froze to death attempting to endure the bombardment, others commandeered their clothing only to be fatally injured by subsequent parachute mine concussions. There are indeed records of parachute mines being tested by the Soviet military in the area about the time that hikers were there. Parachute mines detonate while still in the air rather than upon striking the Earth's surface and produce signature injuries similar to those experienced by the hikers. Heavily internal damage with relatively little external trauma. The theory coincides with reported sightings of glowing orange orbs floating or falling from the sky within the general vicinity of the hikers and allegedly photographed by them. Potentially military aircraft or descending parachute mines. This theory, among others, uses scavenging animals to explain the Dublina's injuries, which is the one who had her eyebrows and tongue removed. Some speculated that the bodies were unnaturally manipulated on the basis of characteristic liver mortis markings discovered by an autopsy, as well as burns to the hair and skin. Yeah. Photographs of the tent allegedly show it was erected incorrectly, something the experienced hikers were unlikely to have done. So yeah, again, that explains the burns, that explains the orange lights, that explains the thingy. The vast majority of it.
Yeah, because
and again with the bang, like you said, they thing in the air, so you see an orange light from far away or whatever, but they're dead asleep and just hear boom. You think, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, you think,
just gonna panic and get the fuck out. And then you probably notice it, because I'm not being funny, if they're Russian, they probably have a rough idea what a parachute mine is, or like it's something to do with the military. So you open the tent, panic in the tent with a boom, you look up and there's orange glows on it, so it's like, the military obviously does something, let's get out of it.
Yeah,
so you're not going to panic, you're just going to casually walk. So that does explain a fair amount of it.
Yeah.
A similar theory alleges that testing of radiological weapons and is based...
explain the radiation?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just thinking. And is based partly on the discovery of radioactivity on some of the clothing, as well as the descriptions of the bodies by relatives as having orange skin and grey hair. I forgot about that they were quite tanned. Radiation sickness, it does make you...
Yeah.
If you've watched the Chernobyl series, you know that... Look how red they went, and they were right next to a reactor. So a minor amount of radiation like this, it would darken your colour, wouldn't it? However, radioactive dispersal would have affected all, not only some of the hikers and equipment.
Yeah.
And the skin and hair discoloration can be explained by a natural process of mummification after 3 months of exposure to the cold and wind.
Yeah, that's true.
The initial suppression by Soviet authorities of files describing the group's disappearance sometimes is mentioned as evidence of a cover-up. But the concealment of information about domestic incidents was standard procedure in the USSR, and thus far from peculiar. By the late 1980s, all Dyatlov files had been released in some manner. Again, though, with the parachute mines, it makes sense why when they were trying to discover shit, the Russians were like, no, keep out of that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Because it's a military experiment. You're not.
It's the Soviet Union.
Exactly.
Everything's hush with them. Fuckers.
Exactly. Another theory. Keith McCloskey, who researched the incident for many years and has appeared on several TV documentaries on the subject, travelled to the Dyatlov Pass in 2015 with Yuri Kuntsevich of the Dyatlov Foundation and a group. At the Dyatlov Pass, he noted there was a wide discrepancy in distance quoted between the two possible locations of the snow shelter. While Dublina, Kolovatov and Kolotreyov and Tabo Brignolis were found. One location was where they were found. One location was about 80 to 100 meters from the pine tree where the bodies of Doroshenko and Krivyashenko were found, and the other suggested location was so close to the tree that anyone in the snow shelter could have spoken about those at the tree without raising their voices to be heard.
I've just had a thought. Say it's these mines.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that fuck up all the trees?
I don't know, because if they was just on the mountain pass and not near the
a
mountain,
lot of them were found dead in the woods.
Yeah, that's true.
Wouldn't they, when that drops, wouldn't that just like fuck all the trees
Maybe.
up as well? Because if that's gonna crush all your insides like a heavy force trauma to a person.
Yeah, that would snap a tree or something.
That's at least limbs.
Yeah,
it'd snap the limbs off the tree, and as well, if that's hit someone, it wouldn't be just their chest that's fucked. It'd be
the whole body. Yeah, that's the point. I don't have a clue, honestly. Where was I? This second location also has a rock in the stream where Dublina's body was found, and it is the more likely location of the two. However, the second suggested location of the two has a topography that is closer to the photos taken at the time of the search in 1959. The location of the tent near the ridge was found to be too close to the spur of the ridge for any significant build-up of snow to cause an avalanche. Furthermore, the prevailing wind blowing over the ridge blew the snow away from the edge of the ridge, on the side where the tent was. This further reduced any build-up of snow to cause an avalanche. This aspect of the lack of snow on the top and near the top of the ridge was pointed out by Sergei Sorokin in 2010. McCloskey also added that Lev Ivanov's boss, Evgeny Okashev, who was the deputy head of the investigative department, was still alive in 2015 and had given an interview to former Kemerovo prosecutor Leonid Proshkin, in which Oskachev stated that he was arranging another trip to the past to fully investigate the strange death of the last four bodies. When Deputy Prosecutor General Urakov arrived from Moscow and ordered the case to be shut down. Evgeny Ozhakov also stated that in his interview with Leonid Proshkin that Kilnov, the head of the Sverdlovsk prosecutor's office, was present at the first post-mortem in the morgue and spent 3 days there. Something Oskachev regarded as highly unusual and the only time in his experience that it had happened. Donny Eichar, who investigated and made a documentary about the incident, elevated several other theories that deemed unlikely or have been discredited. They were attacked by the Mansi or other local tribesmen. The local tribesmen were known to be peaceful and there was no lack of evidence of anyone approaching the tent. They were attacked and chased by animal wildlife. There was no animal tracks and the group would not have abandoned the relative security of the tent. High winds blew one member away and the others had attempted to rescue the person. A large experienced group would not have behaved like that, and the winds weren't strong enough to blow anyone away.
That's why they walked calmly.
Yeah, exactly. An argument possibly related to a romantic encounter that left some of them partially clothed led to a violent dispute. Eicher states that it is highly implausible by all indications that the group were largely harmless and sexual tension was confined to the platonic flirtation and crushes.
Yeah, you ain't got a shag right
next to the mountain, in the peak winter.
Yeah, because I'm speaking for all men here. It goes in you.
Yeah.
When it's cold, you become a shell of what you usually are.
It's like a tortoise going into it, like, nope. Another researcher, Andrei Sheplev, hypothesized that the hikers fled from shelter after mistaking a photo flash bomb from an American RB-47 reconnaissance jet for a nuclear explosion. So, it's just such a mad one. Like, there's so many factors that point to this. Right, yes, it's an avalanche. No, it's the katabatic winds. No, it was the parachute mines. No, it was this, it was that. It's just so many point to so many.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck happened?
It's like an accumulation of things.
And it's just sad because the only ones we really know are the ones that are dead.
Yeah. That's fucking Bigfoot, mate. Fucking killer Bigfoot, that's what I'm saying. Either killer Bigfoot or aliens. But I'd say out of all of them, because I was just thinking as well while he was talking, because I said about the mine.
Yeah.
The mines. But then I remember you saying that the mines exploded while in
midair.
if that was exploding at the top of a tree, or
Yeah.
near the top of a tree, then a slab of snow
can easily come down.
that would come down. And
But again, there wasn't enough snow in the area to cause anything like that.
I think there was enough snow, but it just weren't enough to cause an avalanche.
Because it was saying, because of the winds and that where they put the tent, there wasn't even any snow by the ridgeline.
Yeah, true. But then again, if you're moving deeper inside into the woods, that's going to catch everything, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, let me have a look how a fucking parachute mine actually works.
But then again, because that exploded at the top of a tree, say they were trying to use radiation in their mines,
Yeah.
and that it somehow got into the snow.
Parachute... No, not parachute mine, a parachute mine, mate. Parachute mine works by being dropped from an aircraft with a parachute to slow its descent, allowing it to detonate at a controlled height rather than on impact or after sinking in water. The mine opened a repurposed naval mine, featured a complex fuse that could be activated by magnetic, acoustic, or time mechanisms.
Yeah.
When used against land, the explosion was timed to occur at rooftop level, maximising the blast wave destructive power and causing significant damage over a wider area. So yeah, it would have fucked up the trees in some way.
That's what I mean. That's what but then it makes it a bit more difficult to say it's that.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Oh man. But let's say it
But
isn't
then
that,
again-
then what the fuck is them flashlights? And where did the radiation come
Depends
from?
where the mines were exploding, because if that's caused like a blast rate,
Yeah. I mean,
that could make the trees shake. It might not
but
damage them,
I'm
but
not
it
being
might them
funny
shake.
as well. It said they were seen from like other mountains, like further away, so they weren't seen by them. It could have easily happened on the other side of the mountain, which could have caused damage and that, but no one's going to take any interest in that because that's not where the incident happened. But on the other side of the mountain, you're still probably going to hear it, and it will echo, wouldn't it? Like the sound will be a lot louder. So again, that makes sense with the panic in that.
But
then
they
where's the
weren't
radiation?
panicking.
Yeah, exactly. But they must have been panicking in the ridge at the very point to cut the way out of the tent.
Yeah, they're probably like panicking in the tent.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But as soon as they get out, they're like,
oh,
there's
right.
nothing.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah.
But where does the radiation come from then?
Yeah, that's the thing. Something would have had to have happened. Like, if it was a mine, it'd have to have happened fairly close by.
But for only one of them to be exposed to it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm not being funny. They could have easily had radiation sickness beforehand.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you have an X-ray. You've got radiation in your system.
Yeah.
I could literally go for an X-ray right now, and I'm sitting here with radiation that makes it sick. It's not going to pass on to you, is it?
No,
but then if
that's
we
true.
both flop down dead,
Yeah.
and got post-mortem, they're going to notice radiation in my body. So they could have easily had something like that, like just a bod standard scan or whatever.
But you'd have thought, like, the investigators, where they've looks back at like the individuals,
Yeah, true.
especially with the radiation, to look in, like, did any of them have an X-ray?
The only
beforehand
way I
or-
can think of is because I think the one that was exposed to radiation was the one that had the burnt hands. So unless they picked up something radioactive, but again, they would have found it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just so many. Every little thing that points
There's
it in one direction, there's like a curveball.
Yeah, there's a hole. Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, mate. It's so annoying because it is one of them scenarios we're never going to know the answer.
No, but it's just mad how like, now it's just left more questions than answers. Like, there's a lot of things that could explain certain things, but it doesn't explain all of them.
All of it. Fuck up. You know that whole saying, like, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall? This is one of them.
Yeah, 100%.
These and the pyramids are the two epitomes. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall just to see how the fuck they happened. Yeah, okay, they probably both end up being so anticlimactic, but at least you'll fucking know.
Yeah, about the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like, it might be just how my brain works, but it just... but there's no tracks.
And again, with the radiation,
Yeah.
the burnt hands. I mean, the burnt hands, yeah, like you said, with the hole in the fire or whatever, but again...
Depends what kind of burns they
but
are,
then to casually walk...
Because I imagine radiation burns are different to...
Yeah, I think they are. But again,
But
to
like the-
casually walk out...
But like I was saying, like if you was in that moment, or because if you heard a call, You imagine you're laying in the tent, and then all the first thing you hear is, whoop! You're going to be like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And
but
then
if
you get out of the tent and be like, you're like, should we have a look, see what that was?
But then, to argue that, wouldn't you name, if you was to say that, like, oh, should we go have a look? Wouldn't you think, hang on, let me put my shoes on first?
Well, yeah, that
you wouldn't just walk out barefooted.
No, that is, yeah, that's true.
There's so many what ifs, man.
But then again, to argue that again, if it's just, oh, we'll just go out that far and we'll come back.
Yeah.
But then again, you still would.
You'd still want to put your shoes on because
yeah,
you're walking at sub-zero temperatures.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, man. This is so annoying. Let us know what you guys think, because surely, even if you've never heard of the Dyatlov Pass and you've listened to this, surely you've got a idea of what you think might have happened.
Mm.
Because I know the obvious go-to is the avalanche, but it's been proven.
Yeah.
There's no way an avalanche could have happened.
Out of all of them, the thing that makes most sense is the parachute mines.
Yeah. But again, that's got arguments to it.
It has got, yeah. But
it hasn't got as much concrete arguments as the avalanche one does.
Yeah, yeah.
Naturally, yeah, you would think something like this, you would think avalanche, but then it's been literally proven it can't have been a fucking avalanche.
No, more you went into it, like you say, like everything would have been pushed.
Yeah, the tent would have been buckled and all that. There wasn't.
They wouldn't have found it.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have found it.
It would
have found nothing.
But they found it perfectly intact, just with a cut in the middle.
Mm.
And it says they roughly estimate that it had been cut from the inside. It doesn't necessarily mean it had been.
No,
it could have been cut.
But
from the
you'd
outside.
have thought there'd have been prints to show something.
True, yeah, someone going into the outside, yeah. Oh, I don't fucking know, man. I have not got a clue. This is honestly one of the ones I've covered where I genuinely just sit here and think I genuinely am none the wiser.
Yeah, but don't it make you like?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I like this.
Yeah,
because you don't know.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
But no, if you've reached this far, every week now we've been doing a 30% off on our hoodies.
Yeah, we have.
We have both, and both times have been already done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you really need to sort that.
Yeah, I do.
With them.
Yeah. Soon come, mate. Soon come.
Yeah. This week, the word will be
Dyatlov.
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 Yeah, this week's is Dyatlov. If you comment on our YouTube or DM us or anything like that, email us or whatever with the word Dyatlov, we'll know exactly what you mean, and you'll be getting 30% off a Mr. Mysteries hoodie
of a colour of your choosing. Doesn't necessarily have to be black. But no, I think that about covers it for this one.
Yeah.
So Ed, what are we doing next week?
Right. I'm not gonna lie. The whole time I've been thinking, fuck, I ain't even thought about it. But I am gonna cover one of my favourite cryptids.
Yeah.
Called the Ogopogo.
Ogopogo.
Wait.
What? It's on this. There used to be this animated Mike Tyson cartoon, and there was like him swimming, and there's this guy comes on the kayak. He's like, "No, you must get out of the water. Don't you know about the Ogopogo?" And then right at the end, he's swimming in it, and you see it jump out, and he just appears out of nowhere. It's like, "See, I told you, Ogopogo." So every time I hear that word, now that's instantly what goes in my head. It's Ogopogo.
The Ogopogo. I'll have to watch that. That's it for you see. But the Ogopogo is a Nessie-like creature that lives in Canada.
Oh.
So I'll be talking about what it is meant to look like, sightings, and explanations of what it could be.
Decent.
Yeah.
So no, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, and if you want to find some more or find anything about us, Ed, where can they find us?
Well, you can find us on Facebook, Mr. Mysteries and Black and White. You can follow us on Instagram, Mr. Mysteries _, not the word underscore, the actual underline thing. You could
every time.
I've been doing so well as well the last few weeks. You can follow us on X, which is Mr. Mysteries 1. You can follow us on TikTok, which is my favourite of our socials, which is Mr. Mysteries 10. You could subscribe to us on YouTube, Mr. Mysteries, but it's a bugger to find. So go through our other socials, such as our Facebook and Instagram, and you'll find our YouTube, to which, if you please subscribe, like, and all that good jazz, comment and all that, you'll actually get to see our faces. Hello. And this is the channel where we upload our hunts, interviews, and reacts. And we did do a react last week.
We did.
And I'm still getting over it.
Yeah. That frazzled my mind big time.
Yeah, fucking thing.
Weirdos.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Missing Mysteries. You can email us, and the email you could use for theories. What are your theories with the Dyatlov Pass? What caused these 9 souls to be lost at the pass? Could it have been a Yeti? Could it have been UFOs? Could it have been a secret cover-up by the USSR, which would not surprise me?
No.
Or is it just a freak accident?
Yeah.
Recommendations for future episodes. What would you like to hear us talk about? Could that be something in the paranormal realm? Could that be a UFO encounter? Could that be a cryptid, a conspiracy, a serial killer? Anything,
yeah.
If you want merch, because me and Josh are always wearing our merch now. Criticisms, what you haven't enjoyed. Praises, which we'd prefer. What you have enjoyed. If you want to collab with us, if that's coming on our podcast, or if you want us on yours, or if you want to go on a hunt together, or whatever. Yeah, that's about cover it. I can't think of any more. But that's missingmysteries10@gmail.com. I think that's about covers it.
Yep.
Josh.
Yep.
Where can they listen to us?
Well, even though you already are, if that's listening on another platform or all of them, you can find us on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Podchaser, Player FM, and iHeartRadio.
Fantastic.
But no, that covers the mindfuck of the Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah, and pretty much we have done fuck all with it. Usually we find good things about
but
it.
It's just everyone's got a fucking loophole.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, loophole. That's what I was trying to find.
It's just, I don't know. I
don't
know.
Yeah, please let us know what you think it is.
Yeah.
Because at the minute I'm probably not going to be out of sleep.
No. But no, thank you very much for watching or listening or both. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Happy hunting. Oh, you made a mess of yourself, mate.